Hey guys, Dave here. This morning I'm installing my new off-road daily recovery points on the Pajero Sport. So, got everything organised, the right and left kits on the floor, car up on wheel ramps, and just for safety's sake we've got chocks under the wheels. I'm going to chuck the axle stands under there so I don't get squished. Got the instructions on the iPad. The instructions are the left side only, but the right side looks similar. And as forewarned, I'm going to need to do a little bit of trimming. We have to fit about 20 mils of steel adjacent to the existing tie down point, which remains in place. So I'm going to use a reciprocating saw to trim back this front mud flap and a little bit of the cover, which is basically plastic. Shouldn't be a problem. I'll let you know how it goes. Not a problem. I did check there were no brake lines or electronics around there, but one sweep of the saw and I've got a nice big gap. I'll just tidy it up with a craft knife and then get on with the installation. Okay, so this gap here isn't big enough. So what I'll do next is trim as far back as I can on this fine piece of metal here. Between the welds where the thicker steel is, and that should slot in there. Right, hopefully this trimming works. Not quite as neat. There it is. Hopefully this trimming works. Not quite as neat as the plastic, but I think it should do. Right, so I had to saw a little bit more off and bend it back further, but now it's fitting in there vertically. So let's have a look from the top. So to view from the top, I'll remove these screws here and take this trim panel off. I think I'll need to put some of the bolts in from above, not below. Okay, the front trim is off, thinking I'll be able to look in here. Yeah, it might be useful, but I'm thinking actually what would be much more useful is if I come off the bash plate and the first plates with 4 bolts, 12mm socket. That's next. Right, the bash plate's down, and it's not to drop it on my face, and that's really opened things up, so let's get installing. So this is the instructions, which is very useful, shows that which way around the bits go. So what I'm going to do is basically sandwich the longitudinal rail of the vehicle between these 2 bits of red steel. It goes around this way with the socket holes at the top and the central hole towards the back. Now there's 2 of these plates each side, and they're different. So we have a steel sleeve that goes on through the first plate only. So the back plate opposite the actual recovery point is one that's got the slot in the middle, not the round hole. So you'll need a 19mm socket for these nuts. Alright, so I've got a bolt through and the sleeve through the centre hole now. Should be plain sailing. After a little foobar getting the another one up the wrong way, despite what I said. Okay, so the first one's installed. Took me about an hour and a quarter. And the next one will be slightly quicker because I know what I'm doing, hopefully. Okay, so both installed. It's taken me from 9:30 to, well, probably 11:30, allowing for the coffee break in the middle. They will reduce the approach angle of the vehicle a bit, but they'll stop me crunching the front of it on the ground again, as I've done in the past. So I've done the final tighten on the 2 front recovery points. Just need to put the bash plate back on, and then the engine trim, which I didn't need to remove anyway. Yeah, about 2 hours work from start to finish, maybe. Right, so I've got the bash plate back on and recovery points installed. So we've got a 3-piece booze bash plates kit here, and an Ironman suspension lift, which gives about 30 mils in the front, 40 in the back.